Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. And welcome to the last Friday of February already. Absolutely unbelievable that another month has flown by. But it's been an interesting week. We have a roadmap, hopefully, out of lockdown, and that was announced on Monday, and fingers crossed that starts a week on Monday, doesn't it? So the 8th, schools go back, and then there's a plan for hopefully for us all to be out by June. But I'm guessing you're celebrating there, Howard, because it means that your lad will be back at school. You don't have to do any homeschooling.
No, I tell you what, fantastic. Someone sent me a picture last night, actually, and it was, in fact, it was Leonardo DiCaprio, and he was drinking a bottle of cider, and it said all school parents on the 7th of March, in the evening, 7th of March, kids in bed. Seriously, It's been one long drag, and we're not teachers. I can't teach. We do our best. We do our best, but it's hard. I've got to be honest, I do about a fifth of it. My other half, she does 4/5 of it, so... Well, I'd like to say she's got more patience, but she hasn't.
No, it's hard for everyone, isn't it? It's hard for us, and it's hard for the kids. Isn't
I'm sure that some parents haven't even bothered, if I'm honest here, but because it is difficult. It's really? Because we've all got our own jobs as well, you see. And I tell you, on that, just nothing to do with properties. They were talking about as well when the kids go back. Certain schools, certain areas of the secondary school, and even potentially the next year, so the start of secondary school, which my lad falls into, of doing some extended school hours in the days, but also maybe using a couple of weeks off the school holiday. So I don't know what people's thoughts are out there. I think personally, it's probably a good idea so they don't get stuck behind in the in the education side. I don't know.
The problem with that is, and won't get too much into it because obviously we're not teachers and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But, my wife is a teacher, and I think there's a misconception about schools have been closed. Schools haven't been closed. She's been in teaching because there's been kids that have been in. So it sounds awful because
I know what you're going to say.
But that's a holiday for them and a break. So trying to take that off them, I can't see that happening personally.
No. But it might give you a break.
Give me a break, yeah.
Give you a break.
I'll take all my holidays then. Anyway,
you say, we're not debating that. We're not debating that, always though.
You may also notice that there's only Howard and I here today.
Where is Matthew? Where is he?
Where is Matthew? That is true. Matthew, bless him, and actually bless his missus, it's probably a bit harder for her. They are
he's done the easy work.
He's done, they're now parents. Little daughter, yeah.
Well done, Matthew.
So congratulations to both of them. God help them. It's a difficult time, and but a thoroughly enjoyable one.
This will be their easiest time at the moment. The easiest time, as you well know. How old's your son now, Kev?
My son's nearly 3, well 2.5ish, just over. He's great, but he has his moments. And then I'm going through both actually, because then I've got a teenager. So I've got terrible twos and a teenage daughter. So yeah, I've got it pretty bad both ends.
That will only get worse. That daughter business. Honestly, plainly.
Yeah, but congratulations to them. He's missing, so he'll be off for the next couple of weeks, leaving us to sort of hopefully keep things going. But the main thing we want to talk about today, of course, is what was leaked, I suppose, to the press the other day. I think it was the Times that reported it, which is a stamp duty holiday.
Yeah.
And a possible extension. To that from the 31st of March to the 30th of June. But it depends on how that happens. We'll find out in the budget on Wednesday exactly what happens. That's Wednesday, 3rd of March. But what are your thoughts on it? Well,
well, I think we were discussing early on very briefly, and I did a social media video on the day in the morning to say that what I'd read, what had been leaked. And like we said, I think we believe that this is Kevin and I, by the way, not everyone else, that potentially it was leaked deliberately to get out there to see what kind of feedback there was, and before they make the actual change. But I think when you read a lot of the media outlets and the news outlets, I think they've taken it for it's black and white. Is it actually happening? Yeah, I think it will. Talking to some sellers and the buyers, and I think they're quite relieved. some of them have budgeted not to be paying stamp duty. The ones that haven't, who've just agreed a sale like last week, they hopefully will have a bit of a windfall as well. So yeah, I think it's going to have to be right, but I think potentially it could have been handled a lot better earlier on, where they could have said, like we discussed off air, where they could have come out and said, like, if you've agreed a sale by then, and you've instructed solicitors, we'll honour the no stamp duty thing. And I think they've got to do something similar this time. They've got to at least come out and put a strategy in place. Otherwise, come June the 1st, we're going to have the same rigmarole again, aren't we? So
yeah, well,
yeah, that's what I think. But in general, I actually think it's a good thing, because I think it'll just help keep them sales that are going through on board. Because I fear that potentially, there'd have been a small percentage, but potentially people, like I said just a minute ago, who were budgeted for that, not paying any stamp duty, they might have a $3-4 depending on what the house is, the price is, the stamp duty bill, and they might just pull the plug.
Yeah,
so I think that's alleviated that.
Well, it is difficult as well, because I think there's still people out there. I know we've spoken about it quite a bit, the stamp duty, and said it would have been unrealistic even in January to actually have got your sale through, given the volume of sales that happened in 2020. Conveyancers were already struggling, so to actually get your sale through that was agreed in January, especially if it was mortgaged or on something that was very complicated, if there's no title registered or something like that, it was highly unlikely that you would have made the deadline of 31st of March. So, but I don't think people really understood that. So here we are now at the end of Feb, and the government have thought, well, if people didn't understand it, really, they're still agreeing a lot of sales, and the sales are absolutely flying still, massively so. And I think that's partly driven because of the stamp duty. So you would have had, I think you're right, people have been budgeting on the fact that they're going to save up to if it's 500,000, you save what, 10 grand? You're saving a lot of money.
I spoke to someone like Kevin. This is before this was announced. Right, so before this was announced on, was it Wednesday morning? I think it was Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say announced, leaked. I was speaking to someone who we saw after last week, and they were thinking, right, well, we've got to get it through before the end of March, and ideally the week commencing the 22nd. It's a week ending the 25th of March, because we want to save that stamp duty. Me being transparent, I just said, well, I don't think you're going to do that. I don't think, if it sticks as it is at the end of March, I don't think you're going to be able to take advantage of that holiday, because, like you just said, the solicitors are backlogged, aren't they? They are backlogged. Surveyors are backlogged, and throwing into the problem, this particular property that it was, there's a management pack. So basically, people listening out there don't know it's a leasehold. So when the solicitors are purchasing leasehold, they've got to apply for their management pack and read through it and read all the clauses, etc., etc. And sometimes that can be very hard to get from the management company. They don't always want to engage and get things sent back, so that can slow things down. I suppose it just depends who you speak to. So it's very, very difficult. So yeah, it won't go through now. She's got a fighting chance, I think, before the end of June.
Well, the other thing is how is it going to actually work? Again, we'll find out more on Wednesday.
That's it.
Because the fear is
exactly.
if you're just moving the date, we're going to be in the same boat again. In 3 months' time, you're just moving the problem to another point of the year. So we have tried to figure out, or have our own theories about what that may be.
Second guess, aren't we? But I think that, like we said, Kev, and you're better off to explain it. Is they might have like a staged or staggered layer or staged how things, where you are to a sale to say whether you are included or you can take advantage of it.
Yeah, well, I think I was perhaps thinking that it would be something like you'd have to have agreed or instructed a sale or a purchase. Purchase by a certain date. So say if that was the 31st of March, your sale would have to be instructed by the 31st of March, and then you had up until the June deadline to actually get it through and completed. And I think people know where they stand. That would be my guess, but who knows?
I'd go along with that. Whether it's that date or not, but I do think that'll be. Yeah. I do think that's going to be. I do think that's going to be, because then therefore what they've done before, like they just had one deadline. Like, that's it, March 31st. Yeah. But if we do what you say there, so yeah, March 31st is the deadline. However, what we're doing now is extending for you to get that sale through. Yeah. So that's more of a structured. Stamp duty holiday.
Another option, of course, would be on exchange of contracts. So if you exchange contract before a certain date, you had you could complete that. So maybe they extend it to June, but that's the exchange date, and then you can have a future completion date. That's a possibility.
Yeah,
not sure about that one, but yeah. Boom. It'll be interesting, and even more interesting will be the fact that I think Howard has had his internet drop off. He's actually been having internet issues for a little while, unfortunately. And oddly enough, about half an hour before this stream was going live, the TalkTalk engineer for his house, he left. So it's the reason why he wanted to or could join. So yeah, he's obviously had a little bit of a disappearing episode. So we'll try and get him back. Hopefully he will rejoin us in a minute. Because as I say, now we've gone through stamp duty, we'll just have a little chat about how the market has gone. And I do know that Howard likes to try and understand how things have been going from that point of view. But I'll start. It's not his area. I'll start by just talking about the stats for Lancaster, and then hopefully I'll say Howard will have joined and he can find his Preston ones. There he is.
Don't ask. I'll tell you what happened. I actually tell you what happened then was someone rang me and I pressed the wrong button, so instead of cancelling it, I joined their call and I carried on talking to you. Ironically, it was a solicitor, just to say that they're inundated with trying to do completions today, give me an update. So, yeah, sorry guys about that. Do you know, if I'd have put these on, I'd have been able to see what button I was pressing.
Oh, well, there you go. Lesson learned.
Apologies.
Lesson learned. Or use your laptop.
Yeah, or use my laptop. Yeah. Well, that's laptop. These amateurs, you see.
I was just saying that you've been having internet issues actually anyway, so I did wonder if it was that with the talk.
I'd love to blame it on them. I'd love to blame it on them, because then I won't look a fool. But no, internet issues, terrible internet issues.
Well, I was just going to.
I was going to say I won't be unprofessional and say which one I've switched to.
Oh well, I did mention the name. Talk.
Oh right, yeah. You only say it twice. It's that good they mentioned it, call it twice. Oh yeah, we shall see. We could be back to another provider saying, yeah, go on, Kev. Sorry, mate.
Well, I was just going to end up just talking about how the market is. Or has been. Let's say we're almost through February. Did touch on it a bit earlier that sales are still really, really strong, and that is definitely the case.
They are. Sales are really strong, but just before you go into that, Kevin, as well, I will say that I was talking to two different new homes people yesterday. Okay, one site it's 90% sold, but they're all built. Okay, so there's a show home, so people are still going around there. They're still not selling them, but they're getting viewers. Another site, which it's a fantastic site, which is called the Olive Farm out in Horton, which is a Linden home site, and some fantastic new, and they're all timber built properties, ranging from 320 to 270 to 235. Plus, there's also some affordable homes down there. So, on that note, if you actually want any more information, just message me at Preston at Lancaster Estates, and I'll give you some information on that and show you some and send you some emails if you're interested in that side of it. But what we're finding from down there though is because they're not built yet and there's no physical property for you to go in, so you can't actually go into a show home and get your feel of it. The feedback I'm getting from the ladies down there in the sales department that people are very reluctant to put a deposit down to secure a property without physically seeing it. And the expression that she gave me, this lady, was, she said, people are saying, it's not like buying a jumper where you can go home, try it on, if it doesn't fit, or you don't like it, take it back. Once you're committing to it, you're committing to it. So it's never been a problem, I don't think, before. People have always bought off plan, but it's a bit of a bizarre one, really, now. So I don't know what your thoughts on that, Kev. Or
I think it is difficult to buy off plan. I like to have something tangible that I can see and certainly walk around and get a feel of. And I think we've talked about it before. A lot of buying a house is off feeling. The lifestyle of it. So you generally will walk into a house and think, yeah, I like this. Or more often than not, actually, you walk into a house and go, no, I don't like this.
Not for me.
Yeah, not for me. So it can be difficult with those ones because you can't actually walk around them.
No,
that's it. Not even virtually. You can't even do a virtual tour. You can get CGIs and that sort of thing, but not even a virtual tour.
You can't feel the space around you. You can't picture yourself sat down with watching television or making your tea or something like that in a CGI. So possibly in the future, again, there might be something that you can do. You're on about virtual reality, right? What we're doing, right? You know what I'm going to say now, don't you? We do these 360-degree tours, fantastic. We do these walkthrough tours, again, they're brilliant. But what about these ones? So they could do these new homes. So I don't know how you do it, but you put these things on like that, and away you go, looking around. So you can actually walk around your house. I went on a friend of mine's. He's got one, and I had a go at it once. I couldn't stand up. In all honesty, it was a spaceship, and I could actually walk around. I could physically walk around the spaceship and see the controls, and also off the spaceship there's a lounge with an open fire. You could go to it. But I wonder would it cost too much money to do that? I don't know. Not on everyday homes. On new homes.
I think they are around those. I think you can actually do them. Yeah, I believe so.
I thought they'd just invented something then.
No, unfortunately not. Can't give you that one. Anyway, let's finish off and have a look at the current stats that are going on at the moment. So quickly fly through Lancaster. Say no, Matt, to have a look at them. But last February, new properties going to market was 257, and we're at 237 so far, so 20 short. A few days left to go.
That's not bad actually. I
think we're probably going to be that same. And February last year was a good month. We touched on that last week as well because I think it was Brexit.
So it was the best month, I think.
Sales 224 sales property sold in February 2020, 254, so 30 up. This February, which again, a few days left to go. I'm sure there'll be far more agreed in the last few days as well. So
I think so.
Up on sales again, and more sales than properties coming to the market, which is the same for 2 months running. So stock levels are down. Preston, we did talk about Preston last week as well, having an absolute bumper month in February, like you say, biggest month of the year. 320 properties came to the market, and there's 210 so far this year.
Oh God, that's massively 110. That's crazy.
But I would think that 320 was just an abnormal February. I think if you looked back the February 2019, I bet you. In fact, I might even have it. What was February 2019? Let's have a quick look. Oh no, actually, February must be the big month. It was the same in 2019, 326 in February. So it is February is obviously the big month normally in Preston. 210 this year.
What we 210 this year now?
210, 320 in 2020, 326 in February 19. So well down. Sales 216 for 2020 and 236 so far in February. So 20 up year on year, and again more properties sold than actually has come to the market. So that's massively. Same in both of our areas, and again that's for 2 months running. So far this year there's been more sold.
I wonder whether these new builds. I mentioned new builds before, but obviously Preston's quite a vast area, like we were discussing the other week. I wonder if these new builds have an effect on these new. So all these new houses coming to the market. Does that include new builds?
Yes.
Or are they second-hand home? It does include new builds, does it?
That figure there includes the new build properties that have come on yet.
Right, okay.
And there's been a lot of those. There's been a lot of those as well. So the second home market could be a bit hit there. But I would think that the the new ones coming to market is a combination of several things. One is confidence with what's been going on, but I would think the other one is not being able to actually find something to buy for a lot of people. You know, it's a great time to sell your house. You can get probably a really high value for your house compared to what you might have got 12 to 15 months ago because of the demand that's out there, and because stock levels are lower. In fact, we've had some recently, Howard, we talked about them the other day, where they've gone over asking price considerably. But the flip side of that is, of course, is that there's not as many properties to buy. So if you're selling a house, you might not be able to find anything necessarily to buy, which
that's it. Yeah, exactly.
Could be affecting it as well. So hopefully that'll all change.
I was just going to say, Kev, on that, you touched on that, right? I was talking to a friend of mine who sold his house actually, and he's actually buying another property, probably not the top of his priority, but he didn't want to lose his buyer. Okay, so what he was going to do was sell his house and move into rented. But there's very few and far between the rentals. So it was either lose a buyer and buy a property that suits him, but maybe not in the area that he quite wants, or lose the buyer completely and just stay there. So he decided to do that. So there'll be a lot of people like that.
Yeah, there will.
I think that they've got the houses on the market. They might have agreed a sale, but they know where to move to.
Yeah.
And I probably think that's in the higher end of the market, in all honesty. Probably.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, that's it. Okay, so I think we'll tie it up there, Howard. I think we'll update on stamp duty after or on Wednesday once we've listened to watch the budget. We'll update everyone on that, and hopefully it's not just a moving of the date, because I think that's just going to move the issue. So hopefully they're going to do a little bit more than that, but we will let everyone know. Once again, congratulations to Matthew and his missus and the little girl. Born the other day. That's absolutely fantastic news. So that's Matt won't be with us again next week, but he'll be back in a couple of weeks, and I'm sure he'll be able to. In fact, we won't be able to shut him up on talking about it, I am sure. So it might be baby themed in a couple of weeks. But yeah, it's great to sort of speak to everyone. Let's say we're here. If anyone wants any advice, wants to talk about the housing market, wants to talk about the effects of stamp duty, any of those sort of things, please let us know, get in touch, and give us some feedback. If there's something that we're doing well on here, or more importantly not doing well, or you'd like to hear about, then please let us know. We always want to improve what we do, and make these certainly more interactive if we can with people. We're here to answer questions live, but so always happy to hear from everyone. So for now, we will see you next week though. So next Friday. But let's say look out on Wednesday for a bit of an update on stamp duty. For now, cheers guys, enjoy your weekend.
Bye bye. Enjoy this one.